going on, guys? Liam here, and today we're going over round 7 of the 2023 NRL season. And damn, what a round it was. I said last week, I think this is the best start to a year we've had, and I think this is the evenest comp we've ever had, and I'm locking it in now. This is by far the most even comp we've had. There's no real easy wins. Even the Tigers that are struggling just push Parramatta, and man, hat-tricks galore. Close games, high scoring games, underdogs winning on the reg. Damn, man, it's been absolutely nuts, and the bookies will be cleaning up because it's been so damn hard to pick. Alright, guys, so let's go over each game quickly individually, and then we'll go into each one in a bit more depth, go over the ladder and see who the movers and shakers are. Man, Thursday night's where we kicked off, and Storm getting it done against the Roosters. We did tip that one. I did think Storm were going to win well. Not by 20, but I did think they were going to win well. Rabbitohs, Doggies, we got that one right too. I thought the Rabbitohs were going to get that one done quite handily. However, I was off here, and we'll get into that in a minute, but Cowboys not looking good. Panthers, we had this one. I thought Penrith were going to win well here as well. And I was not expecting that first half though. God damn, that was dominant against a decent team. It was, Penrith are back, baby. And then we got Raiders upsetting the Broncos. I did say I thought this was going to be close, and I tipped Broncos with a small line. I think I had Broncos winning by 3.5 or more. I did definitely think Raiders were going to be in this one, but I didn't think they were going to get the dub. So good on the Raiders. And then we had Titans, Dragons. This was a little bit of a coin toss. I think I tipped the Dragons. I can't remember, but Titans just getting it done, man. It's good to see. I like to see the Titans doing well. I hate what, because Tino tries so hard. I hated watching him the last couple of years just busting his ass, and then they get beaten by 20. It was hard. It's hard to watch when there's a play like that. I remember Josh Jackson at the Bulldogs when they were sort of sucking the last couple of years. Just watching him get smashed and just run hard lines, get hammered, make a million tackles a game, and then they lose by 20 anyway. It is genuinely hard to watch. Knights showing up against the Wars. I thought the Wars were still really good. And then we had the Tigers versus the Eels. So I actually want to get into this game first just because it just finished, and it's a little bit more fresh on the mind. But we'll just have a quick look at the ladder first, and this has refreshed. So Broncos lost, but still on top. Penrith coming in. Someone messaged me last week and said, the Penrith are going rubbish. What do you say? The Penrith are going rubbish. There's no way they can win the minor premiership. A week later, they're second with the best for and against in the comp. Yeah, I think they can win the minor premiership. I'm not saying they're definitely going to, but I mean, they're looking scorching hot. Everything's looking like it's clicking again. They're going to be tough to beat. And Broncos, definitely a few holes I'd talked about. We'll get into a little bit more, but definitely got a little bit exposed there, and I'll get into that a little bit more. Dolphins in the top 4, goddamn, Storm up there. Wars dipped down a little bit. And then Raiders still, even with the winner, still 16th. Cowboys, Eels, Sharks. Who would have thought 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th would be Sharks, Eels, Cowboys, Raiders. But obviously Parramatta have moved up a little bit. I'm sure they would have liked a bigger win just so they could have got their for and against up there a little bit higher. But still got the best for and against. Oh, no, they don't. The Sharkies do. I was about to say for the amount of wins they've had. But not great for the Parramatta. But let's duck into that game first, then we'll go back to the Thursday night game, just because this is fresh in my mind and I have a little bit to say about this. So I thought Parramatta and Patrons were really, really good, but I felt like they played really, really conservative. There was plenty of times where they could have done something attacking, and they really just kicked the ball out or whatever. Not on the full, just turn the ball over instead of doing something attacking. Just played relatively conservatively. I think they thought they were just going to trot this one in. And I really do think it was Mitchell Moses' kicking game that won them this one. And then I just watched a little bit of the post-match stuff, and Cooper Cronk and Mick Innes all agreed. And then even Clint Gutherson said after Mitch Moses won us that game. Tigers are a bit unlucky. Naden goes off late. Dewey goes off late. And then, it was just a couple penalty goals in it, really, that could have kept them real close. But, it was a late try at the end, obviously. But I think I've finally figured out because Tigers actually won all the stats here, which we'll get into in a minute. The last 6 weeks, I was like, why are the Tigers off? Like, why aren't they winning? Why aren't they really winning games? Like, what's going on? Normally, I can be like, they're missing this, they're missing that, they're doing this. What I really found and it was very evident in the first half. The second half, they actually did the opposite, and when they came back, I feel like they'll not win the middle at all. So they'll just go hit up, hit up, hit up, and then they'll just spin the ball out wide and try and go around, which is never on because they haven't, it's so easy to cover when you don't have any ruck speed. And Parramatta will just cover it so easily, and then they'll just push a pass and then it'll go to ground and then it's over. And everyone's like, look how bad the Tigers are. It was like, no, it was just never on. It was never on. And Parramatta last year, not this year, but last year I heard them say a million times, we want to win the ruck, win the contact is what they'd say. We don't go wide until we win the contact. You have to go through them first. Once you go through them, then the edges open up. And that's what I finally sort of worked out. I'm like, that's what the Tigers are doing. They're going wide before they win the contact. I can't remember what game it was. It was a few games ago. And every time they went wide, it was like, actually, that's right. There was a sin bin against the other team. So the other team was literally down a player. And then they would shift it. And it looked like the other team had more players on that edge. I'm like, how is that happening when the other team literally has one less player in the line? But when you go wide, you're outnumbered. And that was it. They're not winning this. They're not winning the contact. They're not winning the ruck. And then they try and shift, which is just, it never works. Because you just slide. You just okay. There's the line. Okay, slide. Okay, now we've got you completely covered. Or you want to go left? Completely covered. And that's what was sort of happening. And because you watch really good teams that do win the ruck. They go bang, bang, bang. And then just every time they go wide, they always have an overlap. Like Penrith, whenever they shift the ball, always have an overlap. And you're like, how does Penrith always have an overlap, but the Tigers don't? They don't win the ruck, so they don't win the contact. They're not punching through the line. So middle forwards definitely have some work to do, and their halves have to recognise, hey, there is nothing on out there because we didn't win the ruck. You know what I mean? So that was where it sort of... but look at this. They won the possession. There's a few errors at the end of the game, but I'm pretty sure they'll win in the completion rate. Look, they won the run meters. They had more runs. They had more post contact. They had more line breaks, more tackle breaks. Average distance in the set was more. They won the ruck speed. They won every stat except for the final result, and that was mostly in the first half because they did win the second half. Less missed tackles, less tackles made, less ineffective tackles, same amount of errors, which did kill them a little bit, same amount of penalties. So it was just that. They've really got to win that collision before they spin the ball. If they don't win the collision, don't spin it. Simple as that sort of thing. But, it was pretty disappointing for both teams, to be honest. But what do you do? Abby's playing his tail off. He was doing his best. Junior Tupou was rocks and diamonds. He did some stuff where I was like, whoa. And then he just did some stupid flick passes, which were just stupid. Ryan Madison was great. I think he's really good in the middle. I was questioning why you'd put him in the middle, but he was really, really good. Mika Sivo was pretty solid. A couple tries, and I think Mitchell Moses had something like 4 or 5 try assists or something silly like that. Kicked the ball well. He was brilliant. So Mitch Moses getting them home, really, it was other way for that. I'm telling you now, they would have lost that game. They were not good. All right, Storm Roosters. I'm said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not feeling what the Roosters are doing this year. I keep hearing, they're down on troops. I'm like, but are they? And then I kept hearing, well, Teddy's out. Are they? And we'll go through this in a minute. I might sort of explain. Look at that time of possession, 31 minutes to 21. They had the ball for an extra 10 minutes. Completions up. Look at this, way more run meters, way more tackle busts. They're actually slower ruck speed. Roosters did a pretty good job of playing the ball quickly, which I thought was good. But it's just where's the negative place? So missed tackles 42. That's like everyone's saying, well, Teddy's out. Teddy's not going to help this. You know what I mean? Errors. Teddy's not going to help this. Teddy just doesn't make the errors. Penalties conceded for, all this stuff here, Teddy's not really going to help with this sort of stuff. A lot of these stats, Teddy's not really going to help with sort of things. So they've got a lot more work to do than just getting Teddy back. They need to tighten a lot up. And yeah, they're actually, just because they have so many stars, they've sort of, they're not, where are they sitting on the ladder? They're sitting okay in seventh sort of thing. It's obviously it's not horrible, but they do not look like the same team to me as last year. Even the year before when they've had a ton of injuries, they're actually gone all right on injuries compared to previous years. But yeah, there's something off about them, and I just can't really put my finger on it. But obviously this year, that's just so unroosted. 61%. That's horrible. But and just so many less meters, so many less post contact. It was just, you know what I mean. Wasn't good. Bulldogs, Rabbitohs. Look, this was just the Latrell and Campbell Graham show. I'm so sick of everyone calling Campbell Graham a defensive centre. He is an elite centre of the game, and you can't change my mind. He is so damn good. He's probably one of the best two-way centres in the game when we're talking about offense and defense. He is so damn good, and he's just gone to a new level this year. Maybe he's been more known as a defensive centre, but he's not that anymore. He is a genuine two-way centre that can give you anything on any given night. And Latrell Mitchell, I really liked how he played. I actually said in my TikTok video after the game, a lot of the times they throw the ball to Latrell early for him to initiate something. I actually like someone else initiating and him finishing, like him being the final. Him running off and offload, him running out the back, and then he makes the final decision, or it's the play set up for him to score. Turbo does that a lot more. He's not the one sort of starting the play; he finishes. And I think Latrell Mitchell's a finisher. He's 99% of the time going to make the right final decision in a play, and that's where I like him to be. And I thought he did that, and he got his hands on the ball early too. Early tries, pretty much set all these three up as well. It was a magic night from him. He was brilliant. And, this is not very Doggies-like. Doggies, even when they haven't been a good team, you're always worried about their forward pack. Like, they got crunched by a forward pack that's not super dominant, with some middles out as well. I know they're missing middles, but look at that, 1,900 metres gained to 1,266. Post-contact, 296. That's to 520. That's line breaks 10-1. It was tackle breaks 30-12. I think all 12 of those were Karaz as well. His B-play good. He can't fault to him, but yeah, just average set distance 36 metres. It's not good enough. It's yeah, they got pretty rolled through the middle, and their forward pack is flimsy at best. Rabbitohs have been getting pumped through the middle. Rabbitohs forward pack has literally been getting pumped in the middle, and then they did that. So I'm really liking the Bulldogs back five, but this is just not getting it done. Hey, this right here, Max King. Reed Marnie's doing his best, but he's a little body. Ryan Sutton not getting it done. Corey Waddell not getting it done. Preston's doing all right, but he's, He's a brand new player and he's not a big body. It's just, this is not getting it done. And then Reynolds, a lot of energy, but a lot of errors. This here as well it was flimsy at best. It was soft as baby, what. And they will get run through if they. And the thing is, Kickout comes back. He's a big body, but he defends and plays very wide. So I don't know. They need some help in the middle, man. They need some troops back. They need a big body just to fill space, I think. Because but Latrell was brilliant. Milne was pretty good back. Campbell Graham an 11 out of 10. He could not really play much better than he did. Corey Walker was pretty quiet, but the other guys was so loud. It was Totola, brilliant. He actually hurt his knee in the first hit up of the game, and I was like, oh no. He kicked on. He's got such a quick play the ball. He's super underrated, that dude. He's never going to be a big name player, or this sort of stuff. But Bunnies are a better team with him in it. I'm telling you, he's really, really good. Massive loss for Adokar as well. Did syndesmosis, high ankle strain. That's, what are they saying? 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, or something like that. So huge loss for them as well, because Adokar's been absolutely brilliant. But yeah, Doggies. Who they got the next few weeks, because if they've got a tough run, they could go on a skid here, because All right, so they got Dragons next week. Oh, sorry, they got Eels next week. They get Junior Paulo back. They could get run through the middle because Parramatta's forward pack's been fine. It's been everything else. Well, their outside backs, that's been an issue. Then Dragons, whose forward pack's been alright as well. Warriors, big forward pack. Roosters, yeah, if they could, they need to get some troops back ASAP because they could go on a skid here. They really could. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, Cowboys, Dolphins. This was just... All right, you guys let me know as well. I feel like there is something so off about the Cowboys. I don't feel like they're anywhere near the team they were last year. And they did lose a few players. I thought Gilbert, when he got... not traded, when he left, I was like, he's a bigger loss than you think. Like a lot of people, because he was coming off the bench a bit and this, that, and the other. I don't think many people really thought it was a big loss. And I said it in multiple videos. I'm like, he's a huge loss. And you've seen how good he's been at the Dolphins. He's been enormous. And obviously Hamiso as well. Like I know he wasn't really playing for them, but so good to have that, that spark on the bench you could bring on if you needed it. And Cowboys just look off. And completion rates from the Dolphins this year have just been spectacular. Like they've just win or loss, their completions are high, and it's just showing that just is going to win you more games than not. If you complete better than the other team, it's going to go your way more often than not. And I don't think they're playing spectacular footy. They're just completing, and man, there's something wrong with the Cowboys. I'm telling you, they're off, man. They're off. Like there's something off about them, and if they don't fix it soon, they're going to find themselves well and truly in that bottom 4 or 5 and struggling to get out. Because I'm starting to have worries about them. Their first 40 minutes of football this year was probably the best I've seen played, maybe other than Penrith this weekend. But it was so damn perfect. It wasn't funny, and since then they have not looked like a good football team. And I know they've won games, but they weren't convincing wins or anything like that. But Drinkwater was good, but he didn't look. He looks so nice when he floats across the. He looks like he's gliding when he runs. But I really felt like Hamiso was the better player. I really do. I felt like he's. I know he's been out for a few games, but I feel like Hamiso is just. I don't know. I hope last year wasn't just a flash in the pan for him, and he is a genuinely good player. But we'll have to wait and see because he's. I don't know, man. I mean, Kyle Felt, Rocks and Diamonds, he did a few good things, did a few bad. Hiku, same. Valentine Holmes was solid. This Brandon Elliott was pretty damn average. Did and was tried his butt off. Townsend just couldn't really get in the game, but it's more because Reuben Cotter was all right coming back. This Mitch Dunn was pretty good. Like, you can't really ask too much more of him. Reece Robson was all right. Like, I really thought Jake Granville was really good, but you can't ask too much from Chester. Came on late to try and spark something and looked dangerous, but Tommy Gilbert was great, Kenny was great, Ray Stone was good, Jerry Marshall King's got to be like one of the most underrated number 9s in the game. He's just really damn good, man. But it was a decent performance from the Dolphins, and just Cowboys looked like they didn't want to be there. They had a packed house at home, and they just didn't look like they want to be there. It was bloody bizarre to me. All right, total disclaimer for this game, guys, and this game too, actually. I was blind drunk watching these. I was down in Byron with my family. We got into some of the most expensive bottles of whiskey on earth, and I was blind. I was watching it the whole time, but I don't remember much other than it being in a pretty rough... rough, I was going to say something pretty heinous then, but it was, no lube was used, it was rough. The Penrith Panthers, it was great to see Dylan Edwards get his bickies. I said last week, I think this is the turning point for the Penny Panthers, and I think this is where they sort of go, we're still here now. And they've gone back-to-back weeks, they've now got the best for and against in the comp. They're looking the goods. Cleary, look at these conversions, Cleary scoring tries, just... Oof. I would not want to be playing the Penrith Panthers soon. They look full strain. Who they got? They got the Penrith Panthers. Got Rabbitohs next week? Okay. I thought they had someone else, but surely not. Yeah, okay, maybe that's just thrown me off because they played them not long ago, but they got the Rabbitohs next week. Jesus. then Rabbitohs. Then they got the Wars. Then they got Broncos. Jeez, they got a pretty tough damn schedule. They don't really get many easy games, do they? Or does it go like this? Saturday. Oh, sorry. Oh, I read it the wrong way around. Sorry, I went straight down like here. It's gone like this. So they got the Knights next week. Jesus. And then they got Rabbitohs. Then they got West Tigers. Then they got Warriors. Then they got Roosters. Yeah, they could rack up some wins here, man. They could really rack up some wins here. Obviously, would almost lock these two in. Was, yeah, that's going to be rough. That's going to be rough. All right, so where are we? So yeah, let's go through this real quick. Completed possession 55%. You're not going to beat Penrith if you give them that much ball. Completed at a super high clip. Look at these run meters. They ran for 2 kilometres. Manly run from 1. Jesus Christ, post contact, pretty solid post contact considering how many meters they. They only did, so nearly damn half their meters are post-contact meters. God damn. Line breaks 12-0. Tackle breaks 42-17. Average set distance 48 meters. That is absurd. That means they nearly average 10 meters every run, and you're only separating 10. That's ridiculous. Kick return meters 225 to 42. Oh, this is what Penrith do, man. This is what they do. Total passes. All right, let's have a look. Kick defusals. Bombs, 40-20s. Missed tackles, 42-17. Tackles made. Wow. What a hiding. What an absolute hiding. Dylan Edwards has put on a show. Tom Trbojevic didn't look right. But yeah, this was a throwback performance without Fisher Harris. That's pretty damn special. I'm not going to go too into this because, like I said, I was blind for this. All right, let's go to Broncos Raiders. All right. Okay, so Broncos 1 possession, 1 time in possession, plenty of drop ball, all run meters. They won that. They won the post contact. Less line breaks, more tackle busts, won the average set, fast play the ball speed. I don't know, man. This was an odd one. This is one of those ones I was saying it multiple times, and I said if Broncos back 3 drop plenty of ball, they're gonna lose random games they shouldn't. And I think Selwyn Cobbo had 3 or 4 errors. I think Herbie had 1 or 2. I think Reese had 1 or 2. When they're back 5s dropping plenty of ball, errors 11. Canberra had plenty too, but yeah, it's just I still feel like Broncos, and this is just a complete eye test from what I see. When everything's going great, Broncos are just gonna be almost impossible to beat, and that includes Penrith and Roosters and all the heavyweights. I feel like if the ball's bouncing the right way, if they're winning the rucks, if they get a penalty when they need one, all that, just the lucky footy stuff, I feel like they'll just literally beat any team in the comp. But I feel if that stuff goes to the other team and the other team just plays with energy, high intensity and tackles hard, runs hard, I feel like they almost crumble. I really do. And that was 100% last year. And I watched this year and I hadn't really seen a game where stuff really just didn't go their way. They made a few dumb errors, this, that and the other. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe that's not gone in the Broncos, but it was one game. It's their first loss, so I'm not calling in the cavalry and saying, well, you'll just have to fold under pressure and all this sort of stuff. But they 100% did do that last year. And, you know what I mean? Just if a team just comes out and just starts blasting them, they're not making them easy, their tries aren't coming easy, Reece Walsh is getting shut down, Selwyn Cobbo's getting jammed on, he's not getting space, then can they come up with it? You know what I mean? Like that's the question. That's the only question left for now. I'd love to see them have a game where our team's just coming out battering them. They're getting hammered. They've done a few dumb things. The bounce of the ball isn't going their way. The ref maybe has made a bad call against them. Can they get through? And I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But again, I don't want to critique this game too much because I was blind. I was absolutely blind. But it was really good. Just really good performance from the Raiders. And I don't want to sit here and harp on the Broncos. Great win from the Raiders. I had you as the top 8 this year. You've underperformed, but great job from Rapana, Hopewadi, Jared Croker. How good was it to see him back? And really, really good from the Canberra Raiders. So congratulations to you guys. Titans, Dragons. This is one of those games where I was struggling to watch it. And Francis Molo, Sinbin, that was pretty damn silly. This game was a little low quality. I felt both teams were just slightly better than a Q Cup team, and just it was a little tough on the eyes. Both teams. I mean, when Brimson and Florin in the game, I feel like it just really does just a little bit more class. However, Sexton, who pretty much sealed the game. I'm not a huge fan of his. I don't think he's elite, but he scored to try to seal the game, so you can't really critique him too hard. But time of possession, I don't know. I did feel like Ben Hunt. This is a critique I have on Ben Hunt. I know he scored a try towards the end of the game and all that sort of stuff, but I really do feel like these games, everyone puts him in this top pedestal, like he is one of the best halves in the game. I'll just see this too much where, all right, the game's even. You're playing a pretty low quality, like a lowish quality team in the Titans. You're not playing the Panthers here. To me, a top half gets this done, and I know he tried his best, but this is why I've never put Ben Hunt in my top. You know what I mean? I've always had him in that high mid range of half, and I do critique him harder than most. But I've just seen this too much. All last year, everyone's like, he nearly won the Dally M. I'm like, no, he didn't. Like, Nico Hines was so far ahead of second place, and he was third. He didn't nearly win the Dally M last year. He was just in the conversation, and I've just seen this too much where they just lose to a close game to a pretty average team, and if he doesn't score this try, I'm calling his performance a 1 out of 10. I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because he clearly was trying, but I don't know, man. It's a no from me. Both completed relatively even. Run meters relatively even. Post contact, Dragons got them there. Line breaks 6-3. Tackle breaks 49-38. So slow to play the ball. Titans won to play the ball there. But yeah, they're not effective tackles. Both pretty low. Yeah, tackles made 10-11. It was a really even, low quality game from my thing. And both these teams have to be a bit better if they're going to do anything. If they're going to make the 8 this year, we'll have to wait and see though. Knights Wars. This was a good game to watch. It was not super high quality, but I've just going to give to all the Knights fans out there. I want to give you some love. I was pretty much writing you guys off 2 rounds in. I thought you guys had been average. And I just think you guys look so much better without Kalen Ponga. He's just been stinking it up for you guys for a year and a half, looking dangerous but never actually doing anything. And I really think you're a better team without him. I think you're a grittier team. I think you play better rugby league when he's not there. I feel like when he's in the team, you sort of go, hey, do something because you're on $1 million a year. And then he just gets KO'd. I don't know. I just like the way you play without him. I think you're almost like the Dolphins are now. Like you just don't have a superstar, but you're just a gritty team. You know what I mean? You're gonna get through your sets. You're gonna complete at a relatively high rate. You're gonna get through it. You're not gonna give up. And you're gonna play to the 80th minute and just play some real good rugby league. And that's what I think the Knights are doing. Are they perfect? No. You let in 24 points. Is there ways you can improve in attack and defence? Yeah. But you're getting wins. It's great, and I love it. Good on the Knights, man. Warriors down, heaps of players down. Pretty much, I think your 2 best forwards, Nakora and Tohu Harris. Valiant effort. Sean Johnson, man. I was straight up and I said it because I'm a huge fan of his. I thought he was washed, man. I thought he was done. I really did. I thought he was done. I did not think he was that good anymore. And I was one of the first people saying, look, he can still play rugby league, but I was like, they need to get a young gun in that he can almost take the reins. But I think he is the number 7 of the Warriors, and I think he's been brilliant. Happy to be wrong on that, and I was one of the people that called him washed, and he's absolutely playing out of. I honestly think it's some of the best footy he's ever played this year. He's been brilliant. He's been so good. Even pretty pretty even pretty even. 100% even possession, completion rate 80 to 79. 80%, it's not bad. It's, you can't complain there at 80%. 32 or 40. You've got to throw the ball around a little bit. You're going to get an error here and there. Won plenty of run meters. You know what I mean. Post contact though, I thought that was really gutsy from their forward pack, from the Knights forward pack. Line breaks were pretty even. Tackle breaks, plenty from. Jesus. 37. I didn't know it was that high. That's solid. Average run set distance, that was really good from the Warriors. It was just a good game. It wasn't the best game by any means, and I didn't have a horse in the race. I had no money on either team. I don't go for either team. It was just a good game of footy to watch. That's what it was. Effective tackles, look at that. That's just great. You know if Ponga was in the team, this would have been in the 80% for sure. He would have missed at least 4 or 5 tackles. And then, it was just a decent game of footy. So, yeah, I'm pretty damn happy with that one. And I did tip the Wars to win here, but like I said, I've just got to give you bickies. But don't worry, Warriors, you're gonna be just fine. Let's have a look who you guys have the next few rounds. Warriors slipping down to 5th. Alright, so where are we? So we're here. So we go Cowboys next week at home. 100% can win that. Then you got the Storm next week. Tough game, but you guys always play good in Melbourne, I'm telling you. Then you got the Roosters. Then you got the Panthers. So a bit of a tough trot the next 4 games. And then we got the Bulldogs. Definitely can win that, obviously. And then Warriors. Man, that could be a really good game. Warriors at home. Broncos, they've got a really interesting few games here. So you could definitely win. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could easily win 3 of these. And if you guys can jag 4, you're going to be well entrenched in that top 8 there. It's a really, really exciting time to be a Warriors fan. All right, that's it, guys. All done. I'm starving. I'm going to go eat some Maccas. Absolutely starving. And goddamn, happy Easter. And if you've watched this long, thank you so much. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. And the cool thing about this tomorrow's Tuesday. We've got Teamless Tuesday coming out tomorrow. Then we've got predictions and footy's back on Thursday. Short turnaround. How good. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching.